Hey everyone, Carl here with Literate Lessons, bringing you a deep dive featuring the requested Ditto this week. This one marks the end of our 2 uploads a week for deep dives, and I thought it'd be interesting to cover probably one of either the shortest or longest deep dives we'll have today in Ditto. But before we get started on that, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for when new videos go live, and definitely come check out our Discord where you can come and join us for our Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Draft League. There are 7 spots open in the paid division right now, and I believe the free divisions are all full. So if that is something you're interested in, definitely come and check us out there. So Ditto is a very interesting Pokemon. All of its stats are base 48, and where its power comes from is the ability to just copy its opponent. Imposter lets you copy the Pokemon in front of you, or you can use your transform. Either way, it's going to be a copy of your opponent's Pokemon, and you can use all the moves and have the ability and all the stat boosts and changes that it would normally have in that situation. A lot of the times we see Ditto paired alongside teams that have very powerful cores, like you saw on the Rain team previously on Laddering. You could also see it in Series 11 alongside things like Rain Kyogre or Sun Groudon. Usually the idea for Ditto is be a powerful threat option that can throw your opponents off guard. And what I mean by that is there's just this level of unknown that comes with Ditto that your opponent has to always account for. Looking over its history in the format, we kind of get an idea of how powerful Ditto is overall. The big key components to think about is how powerful the format is and what your opponent's team is. Since Ditto is reliant on your opponent, it becomes a mixed bag of results overall. Whereas in singles, it's very, very powerful because you can always switch in on whatever and copy it. In doubles, it's a little bit harder. Your opponent has a little bit more power in how they order their team, and having 2 Pokemon on the field means that you can sneak in a very powerful option and a weaker option if you see Ditto and kind of play the Ditto player that way. But overall, Ditto's power scales to the format it's in. If you look at Series 11 as a default, Ditto's power level is as good as the best restricteds, because you can always try and copy the best restricteds and use those against your opponent. Think Zacian or Kyogre and stuff like that. That on the other opposite end of that scale, if you look at Pokemon formats like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl doubles, the power level is a little bit lower overall because the Pokemon that you're playing against are just a little bit less powerful than those powerful restricteds. Not saying that Ditto doesn't have a place in that format. I think Ditto is actually really, really cool in that format, mainly due to the fact that there's just so many answers you can play, but you need more than what your opponent has. So having Ditto means that you have this Swiss Army knife of utility at your disposal. But overall, it makes Ditto hard to evaluate. In a vacuum, Ditto on its face value, no transformation, you wouldn't play this thing no matter what. Base 48s across the board only adds up to like 288 total, and you wouldn't play this Pokemon in VGC. The things that makes Ditto good are the things that make it hard to evaluate. The transformation with either Imposter or Transform, the fact that you copy stat boosts is really, really big, and just overall Ditto being weird as a Pokemon in VGC means that it keeps your opponent on their toes. Speaking of keeping your opponent on their toes, building with Ditto is difficult. There's no real good way to sugarcoat it. You'd think it'd be as easy as slapping together 252 HP, 252 speed, slap an item on it, go to town. It's harder than that because the teams that Ditto works on are the teams that are already very powerful. Teams that force your opponent to make sacrifices from their own team, and then you can utilize Ditto to gain an advantage that way. It forces opponents to try and focus on it rather than pulling away, and instead pulls away from your overall game plan. So, like we mentioned earlier, it's powerful with like the Rain duos. Well, your opponent has to focus on dealing with Rain with things like electric types, flying types for Ludicolo, things of that nature. Well, you can easily just copy their Raikou and tank all the electric types attacks you want while getting rain boosted Scalds or Shadow Balls or whatever you want to throw at it. On the other hand, Ditto can often just take and copy their strongest Pokemon on the battlefield, be it a Garchomp or Guts Hariyama, things like that nature, and can maybe help you get ahead against their game plan. Garchomp's a great example, being usually paired alongside Togekiss because Togekiss is flying, Garchomp wants to use Earthquake, and Togekiss redirects Ice Beam away from Garchomp. Togekiss often is just a good answer into Garchomp as well, so having that ability to, I now have a Togekiss, what are you going to do about it? Or even better is like, I just have a Garchomp, means that your opponent has to think a little bit more about how they lead on the teams with Ditto. And as for items, you only really have two good options, Choice Scarf and Focus Sash. Choice Scarf is by far the best item in my opinion. Being able to just outspeed what you transform every time is super important. Winning those speed ties is really, really good. Yes, you're going to be locked into a move, but the fact that you're outspeeding is really good. Focus Sash is also fine. Being able to live a hit if you're speed tied is a good option, but it leaves you weak to higher priority and or just faster mons. Since you are copying them directly and aren't getting any extra speed off top of that, if you lose a speed tie and they just happen to double into Ditto, you're kind of just out of luck that way. But with that being said, I want to thank you for hanging out and listening to me ramble about Ditto. Not a very long episode today, but I think it offers a lot in ways of thought and exploration of why Ditto is good. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at LRLessons, at MrBizarre25, and at MusicalVGC. Make sure to check out the Discord link in the description down below so you can come and join us for our Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Draft League. Signups end on the 31st. So you have a little bit of time left to come and join us, but definitely would love to have you there. And remember to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for when new videos go live. It helps us out a ton. Leave a comment down below for ideas for polls and whatnot for future deep dives. We will be doing one deep dive a week from here on out after Friday, and your input matters there more a little bit, so to speak. And with that being said, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at in the world, and we'll see you all on Friday. Bye, everyone.